Everyone, my name is Ana Martha Ayala, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. As a reminder, I do every video in English and Spanish, and the degree theory is based on modern Western astrology using the Placidus House system. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you about the astrological aspects for January of 2026. So I wanted to wish everybody a happy new year, and I hope that your holidays were simply amazing. This month starts off very nice with a Venus going Cassini. There is a full moon in Cancer on January 3rd, which is also very nice, and a new moon in Capricorn on January 18th, which is also very lovely. A lot of positive aspects, but towards the end of the month, on January 27th, we have Mars conjunct Pluto, which is not the best energy. Um, this year, 2026, is going to be a difficult year. We have some aspects that start whole new cycles. We have that Saturn Neptune conjunction next month in February. We have the lunar nodes changing to Aquarius and Leo later on in the year, on specifically July 27th. We have Neptune re-entering Aries, which happens this month in January. We have Jupiter changing signs in the summer to Leo on July 1st. And well, I will fill you in, later in the year as the time progresses. And this, what I'm about to say now, is not financial advice. I'm just letting you know what I am doing. For those of you that invested in silver, congrats, we're doing really well. Um, I personally, like I said, this is not financial advice. I'm just letting you know what I am doing. I am going to put stop orders on my silver stocks close to that Saturn Neptune conjunction because of the eclipse that happens 3 days later. So, and for all of you, the Saturn Neptune conjunction happens on February 20th. So, around that date, I plan to put stop loss orders. That's how they're called. Um, because of the eclipse, right? So just in case, I don't want to lose the profits or lose all the profits if something happens and it takes a dive because that eclipse has an aspect to Uranus. So it's gonna be dicey. Um, in case you missed it in another video, which uh, I did, I can't remember which one. I talked about, gold I think will continue to rise because Jupiter will enter Leo. Um, and, Jupiter expands everything it touches. Leo rules gold. Again, I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just saying. All right. So let's start with this month. Now, on January 1st, we have Mercury in Sagittarius squaring Neptune in Pisces at 19 degrees. Basically, it's a day to rest, to take it easy, not a good day to sign any legal documents. It's a holiday, so I don't think a lot of people are going to be signing legal documents or a contract or a lease or a rental agreement. Um, but if you have to, because let's say you're going on vacation and you rented a car or something, make sure that the document doesn't contain any mistakes. Make sure, especially the math. And if they promised you something, that it's there, right? On January 1st, Mercury enters Capricorn, so the thinking process becomes more strategic, more goal-oriented. Capricorn always has a plan. So, on January 3rd, there's a full moon in Cancer at 13 degrees, which is the degree of Aries. I really like this full moon because Venus and Mars are conjunct the sun. And all of you know that Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So it's definitely about bringing things to a close, right? Because it's a full moon, it's a closing cycle. Venus is Cassimi with the sun, so this is great for creative pursuits, for relationships. Venus, remember, is love and money, also like beauty, the arts. Um, Jupiter is close to the moon, and remember that again, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So we have two planets that are exalted. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, although it's retrograde, and Mars is exalted in Capricorn. Obviously, this can be speaking about an ending to a family home situation, because remember, Cancer rules family. It's the natural ruler of the fourth house. Maybe you get to close on that house that you bought or the apartment that you bought. Or better yet, maybe it's moving day, right? You get to actually move into the place that you bought. On January 6th, the sun is going to conjunct Venus in Capricorn at 16 degrees. So on that day, forget about work. It's the last day that Venus will be hanging out with the sun. So make it an enjoyable night. Shop for something nice to wear. Have dinner with a friend at a nice restaurant or dinner with your sweetheart, your significant other, your person of interest. That would be a very nice Sunday night, right? I think it's a Sunday night. Eh, I don't remember. But anyway, it's a nice day to have plans to enjoy yourself. On January 7th, Venus will conjunct Mars in Capricorn at 18 degrees. Now, this, when Venus conjunct Mars, it's a very passionate combination, a perfect first date night, or even just to go out with, again, your person of interest. Now, this benefits the most the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And then the water signs come in second because there's a sextile. And of course, it depends on the degrees in your natal chart, and we're talking about the 18th degree. On January 9th, the sun will conjunct Mars at 19 degrees. So this translates to being competitive. This translates to maybe being argumentative too. A great day to play sports, to go running, burn some of that Mars energy. You can also initiate or act on your plans or goals that you have because Mars gives you that oomph to get going. On this date, January 9th, again, Venus will oppose Jupiter retrograde at 20 degrees. So this has to do with relationships and love and business. There's an opposition, there's a decision that needs to be made. So the decision comes into play on January 9th. And again, it's for love or money. January 10th, the sun opposes Jupiter in Cancer at 20 degrees. There are a lot of possibilities that can happen, and you can't wait to get started on it, right? Because Jupiter expands everything that it touches. On the same day, Mars opposes Jupiter at 20 degrees, so you can build up the courage, determination to get going on those goals that you've been thinking about, that you've been strategizing because Mercury is in Capricorn. So it's all about strategic thinking and planning and making those plans come true. On January 14th, Mercury in Capricorn opposes Jupiter retrograde in Cancer at 20 degrees. So this can translate into having a lot of ideas on how to make money in the stock market specifically, because remember that the 20th degree is the degree of Scorpio. And also we have a very nice sextile Venus in Capricorn to Saturn in Pisces at 29 degrees. So there can be stability in love and money. A pretty good night to ask someone out on a first date, or for the first time. So again, if you've been having your eye on somebody, then this is a good opportunity also to ask them out. January 15th, Venus trines Uranus retrograde at 28 degrees. So When Venus trines Uranus, regardless of the sign, um, it's just a flirting type of energy. You're right. You can flirt with your person of interest, or you can even flirt with your partner, I mean, just because you have a long-term relationship or you're with a boyfriend, girlfriend doesn't mean that you can't spice things up a little bit. But remember that Venus trine Uranus, and especially if that Uranus is aspecting your Venus, this is not a long-term relationship energy. If you happen to meet somebody, this is just maybe a date night. You go out with somebody a few times, but it doesn't lead to anything permanent. January 17th, this day is packed with aspects. So Venus is in Capricorn and it's sextiling Neptune in Pisces at 29 degrees. The Sun in Capricorn is sextiling Saturn in Pisces at 27 degrees. The Sun in Capricorn is trining Uranus retrograde in Taurus at 28 degrees. Mercury is conjunct Mars in Capricorn at 26 degrees. So you can see that there's like a lot happening on January 17th. And all of these planets are talking to each other. So careful with communication because of that Mercury conjunct Mars, right? You can be too blunt or maybe too aggressive or get into an argument, or your thoughts can be lightning fast. Remember, Mercury rules your mind. Um, so you can be really good at comebacks that day. If God forbid you do get into an argument or whatever, you can just shoot it out. Otherwise, it's a nice day for romance, for artistic ideas, nice sweet surprises with that Uranus, especially for earth signs and water signs. On January 17th, in addition to everything that's aspected, Venus enters Aquarius. So if this is your natal Venus, this will make you look more attractive. Gemini and Libra are blessed as well because it's a trine to your sun. On January 18th, we have a new moon in Capricorn at 29 degrees. So, wow. This new moon is just amazing. There's a mini stellium of planets in Capricorn. I say this because there's no outer planet in Capricorn at the moment. This can bring sudden financial news because there's a trine to Uranus, right? It can also be something about career as well because it's Capricorn. I really like this new moon for people who obviously have planets in the earth signs in Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, plus or minus 3 degrees. And we're talking about 29 degrees, okay? Mercury is also trining Uranus retrograde. So whatever news you get will be good news. And remember that Capricorn is a practical sign. So just keep that in the back of your mind. January 19th, the sun enters Aquarius. So happy birthday to all the Aquariuses out there. I wish you lots of health, love, happiness, and money, of course, because this is your new solar return period, right? So again, lots of aspects. The sun is in sextile to Neptune. So this at the beginning of the day, right? The sun in Capricorn is in sextile to Neptune in Pisces at 29 degrees. Venus is conjunct Pluto in Aquarius at 3 degrees. Saturn in Pisces is sextile Uranus in Taurus at 28 degrees. Mars in Capricorn is sextiling Saturn in Pisces at 28 degrees, and Mars in Capricorn is trining Uranus retrograde in Taurus at 28 degrees. So if your birthday is on January 19th, January 20th, your solar return is going to be packed with your Capricorn house having a lot of planets. So what does this translate? A lot of action, going on for the earth signs in the later degrees, but it's all very positive, right? Remember that sextiles and trines are the most favorable aspects in astrology. So you need to prioritize, reorganize. That's Saturn. Surprises can come, right? Because Uranus is in the picture and creativity as well, because Neptune is also in the picture. Venus conjunct Pluto can be very passionate, but in Aquarius, not so much. Um, but still, you can make it a passionate romantic evening with your significant other. On January 21st, we have the Sun conjunct Mercury in Aquarius at 2 degrees. Amazing day to give a business presentation, for communication, for writing. Like you can have really genius ideas can come because Mercury is exalted in Aquarius. So a lot of intellectual thinking can happen as well. You can be thinking about your friends because Aquarius rules friendship. Um, it's a very good day to just, you know, brainstorm, as they say. January 22nd, Mercury is conjunct Pluto in Aquarius at 3 degrees. It's a great day to be a detective, to do research, Pluto, right? To write a mystery novel, to investigate the occult. So, put it to good use because Mercury conjunct Pluto, your mind can go very deep, very quick. January 23rd, the Sun is conjunct Pluto in Aquarius at 3 degrees. So conjunctions are neither good or bad. It depends on the aspects in your chart, right? So Pluto is usually a very powerful person, someone who has power over you, like your boss, a VIP, you know, police officers, your parent, depends on your age. So it may be a good day to ask for a raise, right? From a VIP, from your boss, from your supervisor, from the director, from the president of the company. Also, Pluto deals with big money. And on this day, January 23rd, Mars enters Aquarius. January 26th, Neptune re-enters Aries. So you can listen to the video that I did, to get that sign by sign play, right? But Neptune re-enters Aquarius on January 26th. On January 27th, Mars is conjunct Pluto in Aquarius at 4 degrees. On a mundane level, this can be harsh because Pluto is the higher octave of Mars. If Mars is destruction, Pluto can be total destruction. Or you can put it to good use on a personal level. There could be a lot of passion in doing something that you initiate, right? You can get a lot of stuff done. Now, January 29th, Mercury conjuncts Venus in Aquarius at 15 degrees. So again, January is like a great month if you have a love interest to get things going, right? So you could be sweet talking to your person of interest. You can go out with friends or coworkers and let it be a social evening. Whatever you do, it's going to turn out nice because you have Mercury conjunct Venus, which is very nice. Two personal planets that go well together. And Aquarius, it's all about friends. So with this, I conclude January. Like I said, it starts off very nice. At the end, on January 27th, that conjunction of Mars and Pluto is setting up the stage for February for that Saturn Neptune, which is going to be a little bit intense. I will be doing a video on that sign by sign. So stay tuned. All right. Thank you for watching. If you have found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Send it to somebody else that it can help. As always, if you would like a chart reading with me, please send me an email to amaastrology@aol.com. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.